Hi everyone, my name is Scarlet. I'm a game developer. Welcome back to my channel. We are going to read very quickly. I want to react to the new Pokemon trailer and give you a technical opinion on that. Perfect. Technical issues. We will skip this part because we don't care so much about it. We care about the game itself. You can watch the full trailer for Pokemon Company. Okay, so we'll watch the trailer without interrupting it at the first, and then we will look at it another time and figure out the things. Is it over? No. Okay. Well, first of all, global release 2027. This is very important, and I will explain you why later. But let's begin from the start, and now we will stop and analyze things in real time. So the beginning doesn't make any sense. It's just to get you in the mood. Pikachu doing holidays, whatever. So the first thing I want to show you is okay, the technical advancement of the game. I want to discuss this because there is a humongous technical advancement in this game, and it's very important to show you what I mean with that, because we have to compare it with the previous games so you understand a bit what I mean. But the potential for this game to be great is actually very good, at least to have a great game in general. So let's begin with the start. The water. Now, well, of course, water is new and looks great and everything else. But what is more important is that if you look at the spot where the water is a bit wider, is a spot where the water is less shallow. What that means is that finally, Game Freak in their engine introduced some kind of path processing for the light that allow them to have transparency, a proper transparency. And the ripple effect is an artificial one. They're not doing caustic, but it's not a big problem. Like you can see in general places where this waviness is a bit artificial, but it's not relevant. This is already a first very big step. Materials and the way they look in Pokemon games are terrible. So this is a huge advancement. And second step, the distance. Look at the draw distance. Now you can see that this island is shaped very roughly. Can you see that? Like it's very squared. If you get closer, it will not be like that. The reason is that they finally have LOD, level of details, but they've done them properly this time. Before, when you were playing one of their games, the level of details was changing extremely close to the character. It was terrible. Now they finally can have everything in the scene and they are able to fit everything properly. Now, the reason why this is important is because before, the main limitation of the Pokemon games were the engine. They had this terrible engine that was crumbling whatever you were doing, and we will show it with Pokemon ZA and Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. But let's keep looking. We also have a huge amount of vegetation, and here, another important detail. If you look at this tower, this is a 6 phase, 7 phase windmill or whatever you want to call it tower. And you can see the bricks look like they are 3D, but they are not. They are just an effect of the texture and the bump map, normal, and everything else that is in the processing of the material, or maybe even displacement map. But this is a huge technology step forward. The same goes for the rocks. The rocks look three-dimensional. Look at the amount of trees you have around. Look at the amount of grass you can see at the same time. Look at how normal the game looks like, and even the proper like lighting of the clouds with the sun and the frame rate of the mirror. This scene again. Look at this. Look at the quality here. Look at how much details we have in this shot. We have a very good resolution. We have a lot of layers, a lot of details. Everything is very sharp. You can see a lot of, like, you can see small details. This is not completely empty. Look at how many trees we have around. Look at the structures. Look even at this building here on top, right? These buildings, they are still reasonable. They look good despite the distance. And you can still see all these trees all together with the transparency layer with a huge mass of water. You are an adventurer, whatever. No, that's not what I want to stop. This is the shots as before. Um, the this waterfall is actually quite good. It looks very nice. The trees again are very good. There is a lot of vegetation. It looks like you really are in a natural environment. The only thing that is not convincing is the Pikachu texture or the material, but most likely they are going to fix it. Or maybe this is an artistical choice. I don't love it. It's very bluish and very like turn it off. Pokeball animation is always terrible. Look at the amount of details underwater. This is not normal. The amount of vegetation, the amount of polygons, the amount of things you are having all together is actually incredibly good. Is very, very good. Also, in the previous engine, you would have not seen these lights like reflecting in this way, or maybe yes, but I don't think they were capable of doing it. This scene doesn't look incredible, but looks quite good anyway, and it feels really like Unreal Engine. I mean, the capability of sunsetting the sun, it feels more Unreal Engine than the Pokemon engine, to be fair. This is important. You not only have materials that can emit light, like here you can see that the magma that looks quite good is actually high definition magma, and it's nice, stretched properly. It's a good looking. But here you have this smoke bee or whatever is the name of them. They are emitting light. You see, they are a source of light. That means that their material can be a real source of light in real time. This is not trivial. It's actually a very huge step forward for their engine. The windmill again, a very nice change, like texture change in between different paths. That means they have a good way of blending now different environments. And we have the starters. Now with the starters, they presented them 2 years with 2 years in advance. I think that they presenting the starter now can suggest that they wanted to release the game as usual in November, but last time they changed it. Like at the last moment, there was a change because I don't see any reason to present the starter if the game is next year. Maybe it would be early next year, but whatever it is, even if it is November, it's really early for them to present the starters. It feels odd to me. I have not looked back at their history and when they did it, if in the past they have ever presented the starter earlier. But anyway, they don't look bad. And I like, actually personally, I like a lot the water one. We have another grass. We have another grass bird that is weird considering Rowlet. But anyway, another point. We have proper reflection on the water. You have a proper reflection. Finally, you have a real reflection. I hope this will stay in the engine and is not just for the cinematic, but you have water reflection. And look at the density of the vegetation. Look how dense is this area. It's not like empty. The draw distance is ridiculous. The capability of having all of these drawn together, finally, I mean, is a thing that you usually see in modern games, but they were never able to do that. They did never had this capability in the past. This is one of the reasons why their game sucks, because they were always running out of RAM or resources and they had to cut on everything to make them look whatever. They had huge problem with their engine, and finally it looks like they fixed them. Whatever they did, I don't know if it is, I think it's an evolution of their engine, but this really feels like Unreal Engine to me in many ways. Even just the water really feels Unreal Engine. Maybe it's they bought the source code from Unreal Engine and modified that for themselves. It would make sense. And we also have the underwater. Look at this. Also here, they are not skimping on the amount of details and things in the water. You have a full alive environment with a lot of stuff. Now, of course, here we are looking at a cutscene. They may not have the same level of detail once it comes out, but I expect that the map in general is this one. If this is what they really will get, it would be an incredible step forward. And also this fish is glowing in the dark, right? We have a lot of glowing materials that is not, again, something that they had in the past. Or not that I remember. Good. I want to also look at Scarlet and Violet. I want to show you Scarlet and Violet because I think it's important to make a comparison with the last Pokemon game. We will skip all the useless parts. Like they really okay. Do I have to comment this? For any one of you, you can see that. And of course, you may say this was which one, whatever. This is not the point. You will find in many more games that will be better suited than this. It's not because it's which one. You can look at Xenoblade and other stuff. There are games that look quite good to be on Switch One. The trees are terrible. The amount of trees is lower. From the far you cannot see any vegetation that is not these trees that are actually extremely low poly. The city look okayish. Pokemon Center is not highly defined. The mountains already close look terrible. Look at this squareness everywhere. Look at how this is terrible. There is no transition blending between materials here visible. There is no transition from one ecosystem to the other to make you clear what I want to say. This mountain here is a PNG. It's just a 2D picture. Also, this one here on the back is only 2D picture, more or less. This is what it looks like. This is their draw distance in the past. So we have absolutely nothing. We have a square, not the mountain. We have a square. You have 3 polygons. I can count the amount of edges. Like I'm following with the mouse the edges that you have in this, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is a triangle. Like you see, this is not normal. This is not the way the things look. And look at these trees. They are clump of material, like they are blobs. That was like even the transition here. This is some sort. I mean, it looks like a 2D PNG, whatever, but this looks terrible. Even here, you have these trees that already look awful. Then you have this one that look even worse, and then you have these kind of trees here. What is this? And look at this mountain. This is the view that you get. Like this is the far view. Okay, do you see the difference? Do you see how humongous is the difference technically? Here we have, well, I mean, we will not speak about this shit here, right? So I mean, you should never, like, how do you make a game that is a franchise that expensive and you have something like this? I don't know. But in general, here you have Everything is dark. You don't see anything. The level of detail of this building, like there is nothing in here. It's flat. This is also flat. This is flat. This is like the windows are 2D windows. That's it. Like they are painted on top of the surface, and you don't have any 3D. Like you see this component here. There is no 3D perception. They are not doing anything special to make it look three-dimensional. Also here, this one looked three-dimensional just because they baked a bit of shadow into it. But if you look at it from the side, there is nothing in there. It looks incredibly bad. The mountain, I don't even want to comment this mountain. And the building is the only one with a bit of details, but still lacking definition. You can see that it's not going to far. Let me point you at something. Look carefully at these windmill blades. Look at them. Count the amount of frames that you can see in this scene. Like, look at how slow they are moving. Like, tack, tack, tack. And also here, I mean, you can see the frame rate is terrible. I want to show you these environments. I mean, here, oh, sorry. Here, I mean, oh my God, what am I looking at? Look at the way, this is the effect, like what you see here. This is the effect of the way they do level of details. Now, because they have a resource issue, they don't have enough resources, they have to cut the amount of polygons in general in different buildings, and they don't have in different systems, in different meshes. I don't know how to call them so that everyone is understanding it. These mountains here, this terrain had more polygons here. You see here you have enough polygon to define this edge, and here you have very sharp one. But here, for some reason, is getting collapsed. And the reason for these horrible things here is because they are deleting some, like they are reducing the amount of polygons mathematically, but in a very bad way. They don't have a very good way of doing it. And the grass is up to here, but it's completely gone already here. What is 2 meters, 3 meters, 4 meters? Look at the mountains, how ugly they are. This looks like a kind of a normal map. So maybe they had already some kind of technology for this, but they didn't have enough memory to use it. But anyway, the trees look terrible. Look at, I mean, this kind of tree would be good as a far tree that you would use, not as a close one. But just in general, this is another proof. Like if you play the game, you can see this morphing. The closer you get, this will transform into something else. This environment, it's ugly. The water we don't have to comment, right? The water is this. Everything doesn't go well together. I mean, even here, like these transitions, you can see, you can count the polygons. The grass is terrible. Again, the mountains and the definition is horrible, just terrible. This scene looks okayish. They really cut everything, and if you don't look at this, it's okayish. But it's a very small shot. This is just ugly in general. Oh, they had some normal maps. They had something here. You had some kind of normal maps. The blending in between the materials is really just go from one material to another in a very generic way. It's just emerging, like you move one material and then you begin to average all the values until you get to the other one. So you just slide. And the mountain looked terrible. The ground looked horrible. Desert, water. I mean, you get the... In this punch shot, look at the frame rate. You have a terrible frame rate even in the punch shots. Pikachu doesn't touch the ground. You don't have really good contact shadows here. They look like they are floating in air. I mean, Lucario, like, look at the difference in between the materials. Look at Lucario. Here we had some kind of specular map, so they were able to reflect a bit of light, but just because you need the metal material, you need it for the metal materials, but nothing too much, right? It is not anything. And also Lucario is emitting not very much, and they are not using this kind of feature everywhere. They're using it in a very small amount, because I think for them was a problem to use that kind of feature in the game. It was, they didn't have enough resources. And yeah, we see some artificial effects. Frame rate is terrible. Polygon count is terrible. And this is the only half decent thing in the game, right? So they add this. This is the beginning house. Is the only thing that is looking kind of okay. Look at the texture of this tree. The palm doesn't have anything. It's just flat. The trees are completely gone because if they had good trees, you would not be able to have these details on this house. This is the problem they have. Like the amount of object here drawn is small. Again, I understand this is not a Switch 2 game, but these on Switch would have not looked anyway much better. They would have. The Switch 2 is not that much more powerful, just to be clear. It's just that they optimize it. Don't need the music. Here in the house, inside the house, you can see. Look at the resolution of these things. You don't need to like look at the resolutions of the textures. Everything looks terrible. Only the ground is a decent material. The wall is looking bad. This cabinet looks terrible. I mean, it's looking ugly. The TV. I mean, I can make a better TV than that. This is not the 3D artist issue. The 3D artists are incredibly good, and I mean, they choose to have all the polygons on the Switch rather than on the TV, so that they can have a full shot with the Switch. Okay, and that's it. And then they cut already back because they don't have anything good to show, right? And they show you the starter, and this was released in when was 27th of February. Yeah, so this was basically exactly 4 years ago, and they released it in 2022. So they show the starter and they use them, and then we have Pokemon ZA trailers. They look horrible, but the first one didn't make any sense. Like they were promising something crazy. There is the unknown language. There is everything else. This project was clearly cancelled out. Like there is nothing like this in the game. These are people that are dressed in a way that doesn't make any sense for them, right? And then they go to the digital era and they have all this incredible lighting and things that are happening, not happening, not happening at all. And if we go for Pokemon ZA, I mean, the game, what they tried to do with Pokemon ZA, they took more years to develop it. They still went into, they tried to make the game a bit smaller to have a smaller scope. So they have only one city in the game. And still, this is the last trailer, right? So this is what they did. They presented it today about this game, right? And let's show you if they show some view of the place. This is how a single city look like. This is one city. Actually, they improved it. Like the textures on Switch 2 are a bit better, but look at how ugly is all of this. These are drawn on the texture. That the balconies are not really there. They are not able to project anything decent in this game, despite having a very small map. They have a small map and they were not able to fit anything. So, what is my point with this? My point is that I believe that we have a lot of potential for this new game. Why do we have this? I don't know why there is no content available. There is a lot of potential for this game because what they are showing is potential, is something that could really work. Look at the amount of trees and vegetation you can see in the far and you can see underwater. This looks very good. This looks incredibly good. I really hope they will deliver on this because this may be the first decent Pokemon game in a lot of time. And apart from what they are showing now, they are taking more time than they usually do. So maybe they can make an interesting game out of that. Let's see what they will do. Let's see if they can keep up with this environmental quality. It's not sure they can, but maybe they can. Let's see. Um, yeah, that's it. I think it's an extremely good. Yeah, I think it looks extremely good. I would be very curious to see it, and maybe if it is a good game, I will buy a Switch too. Why not? Good. So yeah, this is my opinion. Let me know what you think about it. Do you agree with me? Do you think that the other games look at good anyway? Do you see the difference? Um, is there something that you would like to know about all of this? And yeah, leave a like, subscribe, and see you in the next one. Bye.